Hey everybody. Uh Hopefully this is recording and transmitting. This is my first time live streaming to YouTube. So, uh looks like everything's going right. Uh Says I've got a couple viewers. Um okay. So, just want to let everybody know the contest winner. I'm going to contact you via YouTube message or Discord if I know who you are, because a lot of you, I know you from the Fantasy Grounds College. To award your prize, I'll need to know what product you want from DM's Guild that has my name on it and the email address of your DM's Guild account. Uh, Additionally, I will need your friend code for Steam. This is the code. The code will then be given by me to Shadow Author, who will then gift a copy of Dungeon Painter Studio to the winner. Oh yay, you hear me now. Okay. Does that mean you guys couldn't hear me? I hope I'm not cutting in or out anything. Let me know if I am. And I may just have to record this and then upload it. I've never streamed to YouTube before, so uh uh oh, hold on. I am getting a warning. It's lower than the recommended bitrate. I'm guessing that means I'm cutting in and out. Have no idea what that means. Uh, okay. If this doesn't work, hopefully it still records it and I can fix that. Anyway, these were the people who recently subscribed and entered the contest. I am going to go ahead and refresh my YouTube over here and see if anyone else has recently subscribed and commented. Doesn't look like it. Let me double check though, because I do want to make sure anybody that had a last minute entry. Sorry, I'm on my other screen. I guess I could move this over. Just refreshing my comments here. And I guess I could go to YouTube and see if there were any notifications. New subscriber. Don't read this too. Okay. That was on a different video, so that's not. Don't read this too. I will add you to the list. I think that's the only one. So don't read this too. So we're gonna edit this. We're gonna add some new. How many do I need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Actually, I don't need this one. This is my roommate. He liked and he subscribed just as a joke. He has no interest in joining. So 6. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna go back to my live stream. Okay, everybody says they can hear me, so don't read this if you're watching. I've got you. I saw you're subscribed, so that's good enough. In fact, I'll add you first. Don't read this too. And oh, what number am I? I'm 35. 35. Who's next? I'll just go from the bottom. Jonathan Seek. 36. 36. Gabe D will be entry number 37. 37. Grumpy Wolf Gaming is 38. 38. And Red Raspus RPG is 39 out of 39. And Tim is number 40. Now, I do want to point out, for like the last week, I've been posting videos telling people that I do need people to comment because so many people they post their or they subscribe and that's all they did, and so they don't show up. Ignore my phone. Uh, they don't show up in like when I go to check my list of subscribers, because most people have their subscriptions as private. So that's why I ask people to comment, because there are, I think, 8 people that are subscribed. One of those subscribers is me. And well, actually, let me see. There's 2 or 3 people that like they subscribed just to help me out, but they uh they had no interest in winning the contest. So uh yeah. So there's like 5 or 6 people out there that they subscribed, but they didn't comment. So uh and just to be clear, so everybody knows what they're winning. Uh this is my DM's Guild page. If you search by Aaron Gentry, and whoever wins, I'll send you this link so that you know. Anything from this list, including the bundles, is up for grabs. Now there are some bundles that aren't on this list, but anything on this list, including my bundles, you can win, and I will let you. There are a total of 86 items that I have on DM's Guild. Now, any of them that are, for instance, like Dungeon Delve Monthly here, where I am not the only name on this list, and they probably all start with Grim Press. It may take me an extra day to get it to you, because I will have to tell Grim from Grim Press that that's what you chose. But I will get it to you. Grim already knows I'm doing this contest. He okayed me giving away something that isn't necessarily mine to give away. Uh, but yeah, there is that. We can close this. We got everybody entered. Oh no, I don't want to. I don't want to close this. Never mind. There's a little something back there that I don't want to spoil for after we roll. The other thing I do want to show you though, because as I was saying, you are going to need to give your friend code from Steam in order to get this copy of Dungeon Painter Studio. To get that, I'll show you on Steam. You don't need my friends list yet. Okay. So to get that from Steam, let's go back to the front page of the store. See, I figured out if you go and you go to buy Dungeon Painter Studio and I do purchase as gift, you have to do it. You have to send it to your friend. You can't just send it to anybody. So that means you're gonna have to get that code. So the easiest way to do that, if you don't already know, it's down here at the bottom of your Steam, friends and chat, and then there's a little plus button right here to add a friend, and it takes you here, and this is your friend code. And obviously, I'm showing you all my friend code. I don't care if you guys send me friend requests. I really don't use Steam that much. I have a lot of Steam games, but never have any time to play them. But that is how you get your friend code. So once again, if you click on anywhere on Steam in the Steam window, you click on Friends and Chat, and then you click Add Friend. It'll take you to this page. So I think it's time. I think it's time, guys. It's time to roll. So there are a couple people on here that I'm not so sure if they win that they'll actually take the prize. Some, like for instance, I think I entered. Yeah, my friend Heinze. If he actually wins, I probably will just give it to somebody else. So here we go. This is the big roll. It's official. Oh my gosh, ultimate fuckboy. Okay. Um. Okay. He's actually one of my players. I think I'm gonna roll again because I know he doesn't run games through Fantasy Grounds. He might want the software, but I can always give him something from my DM's Guild. That's the thing, and I don't think that's necessarily fair. I asked them to subscribe just to help me out, so I'm gonna roll it one more time. I can always give him something else, so we're gonna roll it one more time. Padubia. Okay, I actually do know Padubia from Fantasy Grounds College, so I probably will send you a private message or a direct message through Discord rather than through YouTube. Uh, but that's awesome, Padubia. If you get my message and you already have Dungeon Painter Studio, please do let me know, and I can roll somebody else. So but you definitely are getting something that I made. Uh, yeah, is that? I don't know who Thenda 8 is based on your, but obviously you're one of my players because you know his name is Saint. Uh, I don't know who Thenda 8 is, but yeah, that Saint's one of my players. He's a crazy guy. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I can always give Saint something um, from my DM's guild, and if he really wants a copy of Dungeon Painter Studio, I'll buy it for him because he is always entertaining. Uh, he's one of my younger players, and he's he's usually like you'd expect him to be really energetic, but he's not. But yeah, everybody give Padubia some congrats. So tonight for the rest of this stream, I thought it might be fun. If you guys are interested, I'm gonna go ahead and close this and close this and this. Oh wait, you know what? I closed that and I wasn't ready to close it. There was something else I wanted to show you, but we are gonna do some. If you're looking at that right there, we're gonna mess around with some Unity. If you want to see how to do line of sight stuff. Now, uh, while Fantasy Grounds is loading here in the background, this is how I do line of sight. And to show you what I mean, like this is the outer wall, and the outer. I like to put the line behind the wall so that if you are a player, you see the art from the wall. However, Smiteworks for their official stuff, um, they like. Oh, thanks, David. That's awesome. I always love it when people buy stuff because it means I can keep running games and fuel my hobby. Um, so I don't know if maybe you meant you're buying Dungeon Painter Studio. Maybe you didn't mean buying something from me. And if that's so, that's cool too because Dungeon Painter Studio is really cool. Anyway, this is how I do line of sight. However, uh, Smiteworks, they want you to put the line way over here on the edge. So I'm having to go through this particular module and redo it. And if you want to stick around, I'm going to show you how I do that. However, let me go back to the where we were here because I did promise uh, in yesterday's video, if anybody watched it, I was going to show off what I'm doing for part 5 of the Tomb of Annihilation uh, expansion. So this is the overland map of Mbala, which is on top of the it's a what do you call that? A plateau. And actually, for those of you who aren't familiar with Tomb of Annihilation, I can load that up uh, so you can see. Let's see. It'll be probably easiest to look up the map through the reference guide. Let's see. Land of Chult, locations in Chult. There we go. That's the map I wanted. This is the DM's map. If any of you are playing in Tomb of Annihilation right now, look away because this is a spoiler. But uh, Mbala is right here, and actually, I think Mbala is by default. You see it on your player map, so but Imbala is described as an 1,800 foot high plateau with sheer cliffs, rises above heaps of boulders as large as ships. A narrow path is cut into the cliff face and seems to climb all the way to the top. And there are some encounters in Imbala too, but there's no maps. So it was one of the locations that I wanted to kind of add a map. So and it describes it further that like on the north side there's a path that kind of winds back and forth all the way around and leads you up to the top, and then you pass through this old gateway that the doors have rotted away, and then like most of the top is um, kind of like barren, and the buildings are broken down, all except for one little hut. So that's why I made this little map, just so it emphasizes that. And then to show you, I did make a map of that hut location because there is possibly encounters there. Again, if you're playing Tomb of Annihilation, you might want to pause the video or skip ahead or something here. But this is the Nanny Poo Poo hut where she lives, and I put like a little cauldron out in front that's giving off light. This is the tree in the back where all the flying monkeys are waiting to fly out at her command, and this is the grave where the flesh golem will pop out of the earth. So I really like the way this map uh, looks. Okay, see you later. Don't read this too. But anyway, I wanted to show you guys that because I did promise in another video that I was going to show off some stuff. So, uh, as I said, I got to redo. I've had to go through a bunch of modules to redo some line of sight because I didn't realize that I didn't do it the way that SmiteWorks wants it done. So, now for my own modules, I'll probably do it this way because I want people to be able to see the art. But for their stuff, I'm gonna do it the way they want it because they get to choose. So, uh, doesn't really matter where you start, but it does help to obviously you want to have the grid on the map already so that you can use it as a reference. And I just selected I'm on the line of sight tool, and then I selected line and wall, and I'm just gonna go around, and you can just single click at where you want the points to be. And that's interesting. I've never noticed there's like a little arrow there, it looks like, because of the way uh the texture of the stone lined up with the grid. It looks like a little down arrow. Okay. So this outer wall, we're going all the way around the inside. And so if you haven't seen line of sight in action, it is pretty cool. It is a feature of Unity, which is in open beta right now. You can buy it, and it's actually on sale. Um, it has some issues. It's not as stable as Fantasy Grounds Classic right now, but um, if you're a Mac user, it's pretty much your only option unless you're using an old version of the Mac OS because all of the newer versions, I think since the Catalina update, I can't remember. I'm not a Mac guy, but I think that's the right word they used. Since that update, you cannot uh, um, you can't run it like Fantasy Grounds Classic at all because it's 32-bit and the current OS doesn't support any 32-bit programs. I'm seeing a big comment here. Let me see. David Meaner, I believe Smiteworks says they have bleed through set. You can always see just beyond the LOS wall or door to see the art beyond. If that's true, I haven't noticed it, but I haven't played around with testing line of sight a lot. So, if so, that explains a lot why they have that set. And I'll need to play around with that. Thanks for that, David. And actually, we can play around with that right now after I get done with this map. We can see if David's right, if there's some bleed through. Let's see. Come on. Get done with these walls. Uh, Luckily, this particular map, I when I resized it for Fantasy Grounds, I kind of know what I'm doing as far as the getting it just right to fit the grid. So, it, um, I'm trying to remember the guy's name who makes this art. It's like I know it's three. He always goes by like all three of his names, his middle name, and this particular module, if anyone's wondering, this is for mini dungeon monthly. I think it's month 7 through 12. Which mini dungeon monthly? Oh, did that click all the way through? Yeah, it did. Okay. Didn't feel like it did for some reason. Mini dungeon monthly is made by Adventure a Week, and I believe it's a subscription. You can subscribe, and it used to be an adventure a week, but now their subscription is instead of getting a new adventure every week, you get a PDF with Um, I believe it's either 5 or 6. It's always at least 5. So you're actually getting more content than you used to. Sometimes it's 6 though, adventures. Um, and they're all like one-page adventure style. I did the conversion for this, and when we submitted it, they told us that they wanted line of sight done as well, which at first I was okay with. When they told me no, 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 you need to redo it all, I was not happy, but I will redo it. It's as Grim said earlier in our Discord, he said something like it's their playground. We're just allowed to play in it or something like that in reference to Fantasy Grounds. Um, Especially for things like this, which is going to be sold through the Fantasy Grounds store and Steam, where it's going to have their name on it, their seal of approval. So I'm switching to the circle tool because all of these little columns need to also have line of sight on them. So I'm going to start up here. And I like using the circle tool once I've gotten used to it. You basically have to think of it like you're starting the circle at the top of a square. And for really small circles, it doesn't work out as well as you'd like, but it does work out pretty well. Like, I mean, it's going to block line of sight in an octagon, basically. Or is that a hexagon? That's a hexagon, six-sided. Uh, and you can hold shift. So I'm going to I'll show you what I mean. So now you can just drag it out like this for something like that size. Uh, and that's okay, but it wasn't a perfect circle. So I'm going to select it all and I'll delete that because it's a table in the adventure, or it's something on the floor, I think. I can't remember. Let me go back to the circle. So let's try that again. But this time I'm going to hold shift and it should be a more perfect circle. It's pretty close, but you can also let go of shift and then kind of adjust from where you are. And that is almost dead on. But again, I don't need line of sight there. So, okay, let's go back to our ellipses. Not our ellipse, but all of our columns. I don't think there's anything in this dungeon that needs, or in this particular map that needs the terrain tool. Unfortunately, so you won't be able to see me use the terrain tool, but I can switch to one of the other maps so you can see it, because I do have a bunch of the other maps have what are they called? Uh, can't think. Statues, and Smiteworks wants the statue's head to be treated like a like terrain, so you can't see it. Does block line of sight, but you can sort of see through. You can see it on the map, and I'll show you what that looks like when we're done here. Finish with this one. The nice thing about I do not super mind. I'm not like super upset about them making me redo this because it is something like if I'm writing an adventure or I'm making maps. Usually I can't like watch TV or a movie or like Netflix or something while I'm doing it. However, this if I wasn't streaming right now, uh, making this video or however you want to think about it, I would probably have like Netflix going, or I would have somebody else's stream going, or maybe some like Apple Music going, uh, just because I don't need to concentrate while I'm doing this. Not really. It's just kind of it's easy. It doesn't require concentration really. At least not for me. I know for some people, and maybe when you're first learning how to do it, you do want to concentrate. But I think this is my second time going through this pack of maps, and there were 31, 32 maps total, I think. So, okay, now we're going to do the doors. There's no secret doors in this map. In fact, I don't think there's any secret doors in this whole pack. Um, so let's do the door. And if anybody's if Padubia is actually watching, going, where is this message? I'll send it after I'm done doing this, which won't be that much longer. I'm not going to stream for a long, long time. Once I'm done with this map and we play around with the line of sight, that'll probably be the end of the stream. So, and then I'll send you that message, and when you get your information back to me, I will forward that to Shadow Author. Oh, you know what? That's a double door. We're gonna hit Control Z, which undoes it. Uh, Smiteworks never told me one way or the other whether you're supposed to do double doors as two doors. I like doing them as two doors because I think it's more fun for the players if there's two doors. They come along and they click one door and only one side of it opens. Now, if you have a whole map filled with double doors, I wouldn't do that. I would just do them as single doors because at a certain point that just gets annoying for both the player and the DM. But if it's just one or two doors on a map, yeah, go ahead and at least that's what I say. Should be more fun. Uh, okay, so we are done with line of sight on this map, but now we're gonna test it out, right? So I'm gonna need some sort of character. Let's just make a character. It doesn't have to be all filled in, but it does need a name and a token. We're gonna call this Vex the Bard. And we need portrait. Yeah, we'll use the Grimshaw portrait. Okay, and then we're gonna drag him into the combat tracker because you always want to add tokens from the map to the or from the. I can't even think here. From the I don't know why I locked it. From the combat tracker to the map. So we'll drag him in right here, and we're gonna click on him, and then we're gonna turn on line of sight, and there you go. Now, because we're the DM, we can see through. We can see the darkness. Let me go ahead and add this. Oh wait, no, you don't want to do that. I forgot about that. That's a problem. I just realized. You don't want to put maps into the background with Unity right now. It causes some issues with line of sight, I believe. And it's not all the time, but some of the time. I'm gonna use as much of the screen as I can. So you can move around with the arrow keys, which is really cool, and you can see how things work there. And then we're gonna go over to one of these doors, and if I put my mouse over it, it should turn blue there. It took a little time. And then when we open the door, he can see through it just a little bit. I can't tell. Is he not in the grid? Yeah, that's why. Okay, I must have put him like half grid. Okay, now he's moving around correctly. And again, you can see there is a tiny amount of bleed through that David was telling us about. Very, very little, though. It's not a whole lot. It's very, very little bit. I would probably, if it was my map, I would do it the way I had it before, so you'd at least see through to here. And then you might see a little bit of the texture even behind the wall, but that's just me. For Smiteworks, they can have their maps done however they want. It's their thing. Now, I don't remember. There's a setting somewhere that won't let me move through the wall, and I can't remember where that is. Use walls, lock layer. Lock layer? No. Maybe it's in the line of sight. And I'm not getting tooltips now. Use walls, lock layer, set visibility. I don't know. See, I don't play enough. I haven't played enough with Unity. I know there's a way to do it, and I don't know what I need to do that. But yeah, let me open this one up. And as you can see, it only opened one side. If I open the other side, there you go. So let me show you another map before I stop the stream. One that has, because I think that was the last one. Yeah, it was. I've done all these other ones. Let's see. Um, no. Oh, and they're all so big because I was doing it in my full resolution. Maps for the Fallen one. No, that's not fun. Let's find a fun one. Here we go. This one will be more fun. Okay. Let me resize this so it's not taking up so much space. Let's get the combat tracker back up because we got to drag him onto this map. We'll put him right there. And we can get rid of this. And then we'll use the whole screen and turn on line of sight. There we go. So, what I wanted to show you was if you look really close here, this is actually a terrain. So it's casting a shadow at the head of the statue. I don't on most of these maps the statues are right up against walls like this, so it doesn't really matter, but I can see where if you had a statue that was out in the middle of a room, that would really make a big difference. And move around. I like this map. It's very colorful and pretty. If I remember right, the adventure was pretty cool too. That goes along with it. Um, for instance, that was a reflection pool, and there's a whole bunch of stuff going on there. Let me see if I can. Same as Area 4. That doesn't help. One of these has to have. Do any of them not? Does this map not have any? I know it's got puzzles. I'm looking for. Nope. I don't think it has any monsters. It's all puzzles. Yep. This particular one-page adventure is all puzzles and stuff. There's no monsters. But as you can see, Unity is pretty cool as far as the line of sight stuff. Uh, so I think this is the end of the stream. I am gonna send a message to Padubia, and I'll probably be running another contest on the YouTube channel. Maybe later in April. So those of you who are subscribed, stay subscribed, and you'll win some more free stuff. I'll probably give away more of my stuff off of DM's Guild. So good night. I hope you guys enjoyed this little contest. And if you aren't members of Fantasy Grounds College, which I'm guessing 90% of you are, do go ahead and join the college. It is the best place to learn about how to use Fantasy Grounds, and it's just a great community. They're always helpful, and yeah. Plus, I do teach classes on map making, and so yeah, they can be a little bit more personalized and informative, and you can get questions answered and such. But yeah, everybody, have a great night.